Tanya, is the news true? I heard that you got engaged. This is so huge. I just wanted to give you a huge congratulations on that.
Wait, what? And just who did you hear that from? I want names right now. Just who gave you that information about me getting married, huh? Because I certainly know that I wasn't the one who told you about that.
Your father told me, of course, so I just wanted to text you and say congratulations on that.
I don't remember asking for any kind words from you, thank you very much. But if you really want to show how happy you are for me, you can go ahead and send me some money.
Tanya, come now. You know you don't need to talk to me like this. I mean, I've been married to your father and known you for years now. I just wanted to say something nice about your engagement.
Do you really think that just because you married my dad, that makes you my mom or something?
Now, Tanya, I understand that you don't see me as your mother, but we aren't going to sit here and pretend like I haven't taken care of you for a long time. So I don't see what the big deal is if I just want to congratulate you on something you were doing anyways.
I don't care about how you try and slice this. The fact of the matter is that you aren't my mom, and you never, ever will be. The only mother in the world that I have is the woman who gave birth to me. Got it?
I still don't understand how you can be like this when we've been together like this for so long. You really still haven't changed after all this time? You still hate me that much?
Oh, if anything, I hate you much more now than when you were first married to my dad. I still can't believe that he ended up with a woman like you. Even to this day, I still don't know what he was thinking. I honestly just wish that he would have stayed divorced if I knew he was going to marry you.
I see. Well, I guess I didn't realize just how strongly you felt about all of this.
And unlike you, my mom is a nice and beautiful woman. She's the kind of person you can tell is a mom just by looking at her. Basically, she's the exact opposite of the fat, ugly pig that you are.
Well, I'm sorry if you have a problem with the way that I look, but even so, I hoped that we could still be friends.
You're always saying that, and you still just don't get that I'm not interested. So why don't you quit trying to force us to come together and be friends, huh? It really just makes me sick. Even Dad is always trying to get us to spend more time together, and I hate it. I am really just sick of it.
Well, okay then. If it really upsets you that badly, then I won't try and force being friends with you anymore. But I just hope that this doesn't mean you feel that you have to look at me like I'm some kind of enemy either. I mean, I'm not even really sure what I did to you to deserve this kind of treatment.
You married my dad, and I will never forgive you for that. You stole him away somehow and tricked him into marrying you. I just know it.
You're right about us getting married. That much we actually did. But there was no trickery involved at all. Not only that, but I've been trying so hard ever since then to get on your good side, and nothing has worked.
So what? You expected me to be grateful for you marrying him and raising me? You really must think the world revolves around you, don't you?
Of course I don't. What have I even said that would make you think that? All I'm trying to say right now is that I did the things that I did for you from a place of love, not obligation. But you can't just brush off all that I did for you, all the cooking and laundry and driving you places and picking you up. I did that all for you. You understand that, don't you?
Well, that just shows that you really do think everything is all about you. You really think that you deserve whatever you want all because you stole my dad away. But I just want you to know that there was never anything you could do to make me like you.
I see. Well, just know that it isn't going to be so easy to get rid of me. After all, your dad and I are still married. Tanya, I just wanted to ask about this thing that your father just told me. Do you really not want me to go to your wedding at all?
That's right. I told my dad that if he wanted to be there at my wedding, he would have to leave you at home.
But why? I know that you really don't like me at all. But are you really not even going to invite your own stepmother to your wedding? What kind of impression is that going to have on your guests? Or your husband's family?
Oh, I've already got that covered. You see, in your place, my real mom is going to be there for me.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
I mean that I invited my real mom, my biological mother, to my wedding instead of you.
Is this supposed to be some kind of joke or something? You really invited your mom to your wedding? What were you thinking?
Well, what other choice did I have if I wasn't going to have my fake mother, you, there? Besides, I know that my mom is going to give me much more for my wedding than you ever could, so I don't even need you there.
But have you even told your other relatives about this?
Of course I haven't. I wanted to surprise everyone there when my real mom walks through the door to greet me. So no one knows about this but you.
Tanya, I really think that this is a bad idea and that you should not be inviting your birth mother to the wedding. You have to stop this right now. I am serious.
You think that you can tell me what to do? This is my wedding, got it? How dare you even try to order me around? I can do whatever I want.
I'm not trying to order you around, Tanya. That isn't what the issue is. I just mean that inviting your mom is going to create a lot of problems for everyone. And it might really upset your husband's family, so I think that you should really talk to your family before going through with this.
You really think that anyone is going to have an issue with me inviting my real mom there? The only person who is going to be looking bad after all this is said and done is you. I just want to have a surprise for everyone there so they can enjoy my special day even more. I mean, just think of the shock on people's faces when my real mom shows up. Everyone is going to be so happy that they'll cry.
Well, I think you're at least half right on that last part. But I am telling you that this is not going to go how you think it will, and you're going to regret doing this.
And just why in the world should I listen to you? It's clear that you're just jealous my wedding is going to be even better than it was now that you're uninvited. So just shut up and let me do what I want.
But I just can't believe that not only did you uninvite me to your wedding, but that you actually invited your own mother.
Oh, that's not all. I told you that I did it so I could get a huge wedding present from my mom. And then everyone is going to be so happy that she's there that even Dad will want to leave you and get back with her. And then, when all that is done, I can finally get you out of my life once and for all.
You do know that your father and I are happily married, don't you?
Oh, please. I know how badly my dad wishes he could get back together with my mom. You were just a placeholder until he realized that. Although, I'm sure he would have realized it much faster if you were never even there to begin with.
I'm sorry, Tanya, but you really have no idea what you're talking about, and I am telling you that your father doesn't feel that way about your mom.
You're the one who doesn't know what you're talking about. You're just mad because I'll finally get rid of you and make my parents get back together. You're just mad because Dad is going to divorce you, and then you'll be all alone with no one to care about you at all. I can finally save my dad from the person who stole him away from my mom.
That's where you're wrong. Your father and I got married years after he divorced your mom.
But I know that you and Dad have been friends ever since you were both young, so this was probably all just a plan of yours.
We actually weren't that close. We just happened to be in the same grade and go to the same schools. I actually only met him after we had both graduated after he had gotten his divorce. But we didn't even start dating until years after that happened.
But that was all part of your plan. You were planting ideas in his head to get him to like you. Why else would he get married to a fatty like you? There's no way he would ever marry such an ugly girl unless someone was tricking him.
Okay, you really need to stop this, Tanya. You are insulting not only me, but your own dad right now. But I know that your dad is never going to leave me, no matter what you try.
You say that now, but let's just see who he chooses when he sees my mom show up at the wedding.
Tanya, I really shouldn't be the one to tell you this, but your mother is not a good person.
Oh, please. You think I give a damn about what you have to say about my real mom, you faker? I knew that it was a good idea to make sure you stayed away from my wedding. Hey there. I just wanted to double check that you knew it was my wedding and that you're not to come here. Because my real mom is going to be coming in your place. There's not even a seat for you if you did come.
Oh, trust me, now that I know your mom is coming, I don't want to be anywhere near there. I told your father that I had no problems with him going by himself.
And just what is that supposed to mean? You think that my wedding isn't going to be the best ever? There isn't going to be a dry eye in the whole room, let me tell you that. They'll see the bond between a mother and daughter and how it's possible for us to come together after all this time apart.
There you go again, talking about your mom like that. I can assure you that things aren't going to go how you think they are.
Sounds like you're just a sore loser to me. But you should stay nearby after the wedding. I'm sure my dad will want to tell you as soon as possible that he wants a divorce.
Yeah, that would be awful, if it even had a chance of happening. But anyways, don't you worry. I've stopped thinking of you as my daughter anyways.
Well, that's just a huge relief at least. I'm glad you finally gave up that stupid fantasy. Now that I know you won't even think of me as family anymore, that's made my wedding all the much better. Hey, what the heck is going on here, huh? Tell me right now.
I don't get it. What would a fake mother like me know? Besides, aren't you still in the middle of your wedding?
I was until it burst into an all-out melee. Now just what is going on here?
Ah, I thought something like that might happen. Let me guess, your mom is fighting with all the other wives on your side of the family right now?
But how did you know all that? I tried asking Dad, but he wouldn't tell me. He just told me that this was what I was asking for. But I never wanted any of this. I don't even get how it's all come to this.
Well, I told your dad that you were inviting your real mom to this wedding. And even he figured that something would happen like this, but he wanted you to learn a lesson, so he didn't say anything.
A lesson? What kind of lesson? What does that mean?
I mean that he wanted you to see why he ended up divorcing your mom. You see, your mom has had several affairs with the men in this family.
Wait, what?
I'm not talking about something with just one person. I'm talking about so many husbands, some of them ex-husbands of your aunts. Of course, your dad had no idea about any of this until it all came to light at once. And as you can see, there is still plenty of bad blood when it comes to your mom. Things only started to settle down after she ran away and disappeared.
But this is the first that I'm hearing about any of this at all.
Well, of course, you were just a child and we didn't want to tell you such a horrible truth about your mother.
But, I mean, I don't know what to say. How am I just hearing about all of these affairs now, though? No one said anything about any of this at our last family reunion.
Well, that's because we all agreed to just try and put that horrid woman behind us and forget about her. I suppose the plan even worked to an extent. Until you presented everyone with your little surprise today.
This is crazy. It was like everyone just had a switch flipped inside of them or something. The moment my mom walked in, everyone on my family side went silent instantly. It was so scary.
Well, I just feel bad for your husband's family. I'm sure they had high hopes for this event, too. And now it's all ruined thanks to someone they've never even met.
So many people have left already. I don't know what to do.
Do you think you can even finish having your wedding at this rate?
I have no idea. I'm supposed to be walking in there any second, and I'm just so scared of what I'll end up seeing.
You mean that you haven't even gotten married yet? You have to at least exchange your vows.
How am I supposed to get married when no one is even going to be paying attention to me? They'll all be way too focused on why my mom is there.
Well, I suppose it's far too late to cancel it all now. You might as well just finish it. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a faker, right?
I can't do this anymore. People are actually starting to get hurt. The ambulances have already arrived.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a real mess. And to think everyone probably went there so happy and excited.
But you don't get it. The person being taken away in the ambulance is someone from my fiancé's side. They tried to get in the middle of my aunts while they were fighting with my mom, and they ended up flying through the air.
Well, I'm sure that your fiancé can't be happy about that at all.
Of course not. He's furious and he's saying that this is all my fault. He's saying that I ruined the entire wedding.
Well, is your mom still there, causing a scene right now?
No. They finally managed to chase her out of the building. And now I'm just trying to apologize to all my aunts and the people on my fiancé's side. But you know, nobody was even fighting until my mom threw the first punch. Before that, it was all just glares and trash talking.
Yeah, that sure does sound like your mom, all right.
Why did she even bother showing up if she knew something like this would happen? All she did was ruin my wedding.
Well, that's just the kind of person that she is, if I can be honest. But what else would you expect from someone who sleeps with family members?
Mary, please, you have to get over here right now.
You want me at your wedding? But whatever for? I thought that I wasn't invited, remember?
I know what I said, but I changed my mind. I need some kind of mom here.
But you said I was nothing but a fake, remember? You even said that if I did show up, that there wouldn't even be a place for me to sit.
I know, but just forget about all that. That was then and this is now. Please, I need you here to make my fiancé's family happy. They are all so mad at me right now. I need you to get over here and change their mind about walking away from the wedding.
I see. So you insult me, call me a fake mother, and uninvite me from your wedding. But now that you need me to do something for you, you want me there? Well, I'm sorry, but I already told you that I don't think of you as my daughter at all. And if I can be honest, you've always been just like your mother.
That isn't true! How can you even say something like that? I'm nothing like that horrible monster.
No, you are. It's not just your face or looks either. It's your terrible personality and the awful way you treat people.
Stop it! It isn't true. I'm not like that woman at all. Why didn't either of you tell me that my real mom was like this? Why didn't my dad ever say anything to me either?
Well, because you wouldn't have listened at all, would you? You were always so quick to play the fake mom, real mom card when we got into fights. Would you have even listened if we had told you that your mother was the way she was?
I mean, there have got to be times when she was a good, nice person, right? I guess I just assumed that she was that kind of person since I never had a chance to meet her. But I never imagined that she was like this.
Well, I hope you realize now why we tried to hide the truth from you like we did. Besides, that isn't the first time that you've met her.
I know, but those times I was only meeting her for lunch. She seemed so nice and normal to me then.
Well, I guess that just goes to show you don't know someone at all after just a few hours with them, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if she was just putting on an act for you.
What are you talking about? You mean that you think she was just lying to me? Do you think she would really do that to her own daughter?
Of course I do. Do you not realize that your birth mother is a terrible woman by now? I have tried to tell you over and over again that you should keep your distance from her. And when you told me that you were inviting her to your wedding, I wanted you to talk to your relatives about why they might not be happy to have her there. Are you telling me that you're still holding out hope for your mom by this point?
I don't know. I thought that she was going to be different. I figured that something must have happened to make her and my dad get a divorce. But how in the world was I ever supposed to guess that it was something like this? Even if I had some reservations about inviting her, I thought she would have at least known to behave herself at her own daughter's wedding.
Well, it sounds to me like you were just blind to the people around you who cared and worried for you. You should know that your dad and I are beyond disappointed in you right now. You've been nothing but rude, ungrateful, and insulting. Not only to me, but to your dad as well. And now that you've gone and done this, your father has half a mind to disown you entirely.
Wait, no, please. You can't do that to me. I'm so sorry for all the horrible things that I've said in the past. Just, please come to my wedding right now. You can pretend to be my mom just for today, right? I won't ever ask you for anything ever again if you just show up at my wedding. I promise.
Tanya, you had your chance to include me in your wedding plans. I would have been happy to be needed this much on your wedding day, in fact. But now that things have gone the way that they have, I don't want anything to do with you ever again. And I certainly won't be going to that sad excuse for a wedding that you're holding right now. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the only person being served divorce papers after your wedding was you. In the end, the wedding somehow managed to continue all the way until the end. Although when it came to the saying, "I do," Tanya's fiancé just couldn't take the chaos any longer and left her waiting at the altar. I still just can't believe that she actually invited her birth mother to her wedding. Of course, I'm sure it didn't help the wedding at all that apparently Tanya's mom even tried flirting with the bridegroom before she realized who he was. Lucky for him, I heard that it didn't take him much longer to find another woman. As for Tanya, she dragged her mother back home, kicking and screaming, and I heard the two of them got into a huge fight. I'm not really sure about what happened next, but I heard that after neighbors reported screaming and plates breaking and loud thuds, that the police eventually showed up and took both of them away. Now her mom can't walk without using a cane. Honestly, I'm not sure who I feel worse for. Either way, Tanya's mother sued her for the injuries, while Tanya attempted to sue her mom for ruining her wedding. My husband and I took this as our chance to cut off Tanya entirely and cut her out of our lives. After that, we took our savings and bought a house out in the country like we had talked about doing when we had retired and Tanya had moved out. We have some crops that we grow, a coop full of happy chickens, and a nice quiet bit of land away from the craziness of the city. Now we live happy, quiet lives far away from crazy daughters and ex-wives. I thought it was going to be hard adjusting to an empty nest, but things have never ever been better for my husband and I.
Mom, there's something I'd like to talk with you about. Are you able to chat now?
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
It's something that's a little difficult for me to ask, so I'd like you to listen to me without getting mad at me.
What have you done this time that has you asking me something like that? You're not here asking me for more money again, right?
Well, I might actually be here for that, yeah.
What? You really want to talk with me about money again? What is going on with you, Jordan?
Right now, paying for the house and everything is really tough for us. I'm really sorry to have to ask you this again, but could you please help me out a little bit more financially?
You're having trouble paying for things around the house? You are making a decent wage right now, correct? Did something happen to you that might have put your pay in jeopardy?
Well, recently there's been a lot more expenses in my life. Also, the market has really been bad recently, so the money I'm making isn't enough to pay for the growing prices. Even the bonus that I usually get has gone away. I'm already working a second job on the side during my days off to try and make up for that. But even with that, I'm not making near enough to make meets end.
My, is that right? You really have been going through a lot then this time.
Inflation has also been a huge problem for me, right? Also, taxes have gone up for people like me. And worst of all, we have a child here that we have to pay for.
But May is also working a job along with you, right? Even with the two of you working, you're still not bringing in enough money?
She has to spend a lot of time with the kids, so she doesn't have time to work every day. She might be in elementary school now, but it's still taking a lot of effort to raise her.
I see. May is always so busy around the house then. I assumed that she was still working full-time along with you, but I guess that hasn't been the case for a while now.
She would really like to get back out there to work some more, but our girl tends to get sick rather easily, so she really requires a lot of May's attention, especially in the winter, and really is too much to ask of her to work full-time again just yet.
I can see that now. You also make a good point about how Cammy is always getting sick. She normally will have something like a cold when we all least expect it, right? May must be so worried about her all the time that it'd make it hard to ever want to go into work.
Right. We've really been trying our hardest to save as much money as we can, or at least not overspend. But these days even something like that is becoming impossible for us. We have just been giving it our all, but...
I understand how it's been rough recently for the two of you there. So, how much would you like me to send you this time?
Are you sure that's okay with you?
It's totally fine, Jordan. You are all having a hard time there, right? I'm more than happy to help out with that.
Well, I don't think it's only gonna be this time, Mom. I'd like for you to send us a little bit of money every month until things get better for us.
Well, how long do you think that might be?
Well, up until May is able to get back out there and work full-time again, I'd say. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure how long it'll be before she's able to get back to work. If I had to guess, I'd guess about 6 months we'll need your help.
All right then. Well, that's what I was thinking myself, so don't worry yourself. I never expected you to get everything turned around within a month or so.
I'm sure that things with Cammy will also become a lot easier as she grows older and stronger. But soon we're gonna have to start paying for more than just her food and clothes for her. I wonder how much longer this kind of life will have to last for May and I.
Having to raise a child really does take a lot of money to achieve. Well, when talking about how much to send to you, does $1,000 a month seem like enough?
That's more than enough. Thank you so much, Mom. But will you be alright sending that much every month? You're living with your retirement funds right now, so I don't want you to be using all that up. If anything, me as your son should be the one sending you money all the time at this point.
I also have the money your dad left me when he passed away, so I'm completely fine. I will have enough money to live on for another 15 years or so you really don't have to worry about my money.
I really hope I can pay you back someday. I know that Dad left behind a lot of money for you, but he shouldn't be the only person you have to rely on. But thankfully for us, we have someone like him to support us after all, even after he passed.
Your dad made sure to save up loads of money for his retirement, and for us when we ever needed it. Really, he worked so hard for the sake of his family. I want you to learn from what your dad did, and do the same thing to protect your family too. I'm sure May is worried about your guys' future as well right now.
Dad was such a great man, and even in death, he's still able to help me. Thank you again, Mom. I'll make sure to act right now with the help of May and get things turned around for us right away.
Right now may be a very tough time for you both, but over time, I promise things will get easier. Do your best, and you'll get over that speed bump in no time.
I really am so thankful for having you. And when it comes to sending us money every month, could you promise me that you'll never tell May anything about it? Right now, she's really upset about the fact that she's not able to work for us, and so she feels as though she's failing the family by not getting much money. Something like this would just break her heart. She would never let getting money from you down, even after we just got back on our feet.
Understood. I wouldn't want to stress her out any more than she already is about this, so I won't say a word about it. But if this is really something that she's worried about, you better make sure to take care of her and keep her as relaxed as possible.
I know that. It's because of me that a lot of this is even happening to us. So I'll make sure I keep an eye on her. Thank you again, Mom. Really. I promise that May and I will both never forget the help that you're giving us. Mom, I'm really sorry about this, but do you think you could start sending me a bit more for each month?
What's happened this time? Is $1,000 not enough for you anymore? I feel as though that amount should be enough with the wage you make. And also, right now, I'm not really sure I can raise the amount I can give you much more.
Well, this month there was a large amount of money that had to be paid off on my credit card. I've really been trying my best to save every penny I can, but it still hasn't been enough. So I was just wondering if you could really help us out here.
Did something happen to make this month's bill larger than normal?
Actually, I found out that May's been using my card behind my back. She's been using it to buy things like clothing and makeup.
She's doing that when the two of you are supposed to be saving every last penny? What the heck does she think she's doing?
I think it's due to the fact that we've been living a life saving every penny for the longest time now, so all that stress has really gotten to her. She's already been having some drama with some of the other moms in the neighborhood calling her names for not being able to spend time with them enough due to money. I think in the end, she just broke and accidentally bought a ton of things online.
Is that right? I didn't think things were that bad for her.
For a long time, she hasn't had any time to go out and shop for anything. I bet she really was trying her best to avoid shopping. When I went and asked her about what happened, she broke down and began to cry so badly. I wasn't gonna blame her for anything for it.
But it isn't the best thing to spend that much money right now. I'm not saying she has to save every single penny that you guys make, but right now she should know that all this work is for the family.
That's right, but I think she's learned from this, and the next time she begins to feel as though she's gonna break, she'll talk to me first. Anyways, due to this unfortunate event, I'm not sure if we'll have enough money to celebrate Cammie's birthday next month.
Now that you mention it, her birthday is coming up, huh?
That's right, but with the amount that we're gonna have to pay now on that credit card, I'm not sure we can buy her any presents.
That right there would be way too sad for that poor girl.
I know, but if I can pay this month's bill off the card, then I won't have anything left to spend. I don't want to ruin her birthday just because her parents made mistakes. Having to tell her that we're sorry, but we didn't get her any presents this year would kill me.
I can see that, Jordan. I won't be able to give you much more this month, but how does another $500 sound to you? That should be enough to get you somewhere, right?
Are you sure? That would help me out so much this time. With that extra amount, we might even be able to give her an amazing birthday party this year. Thank you so much, Mom.
She is my one and only grandchild, so I have to make sure she gets to enjoy her birthday. But you're going to have to talk to me about this and make sure she knows not to ever spend your credit card ever again, no matter the amount of stress.
I will. I'm sorry that this has resulted in making you hand us over more money.
How's it going, Mom? Are you able to chat for a moment? I'm okay right now. Ah, that's right, May. I sent a present to your place for Cammie's birthday. Has it made it over there yet? It has, and that's the reason why I'm wanting to talk with you right now. Oh, is that right? You don't have to worry about thanking me or anything for that. I sent that present for her because I wanted to. From what I've seen so far, that present is a very nice looking gift for her. It probably cost you quite a bit of money as well to get that for her, right? Well, it may have, but I don't mind. How much did that present cost you? I'd have to say in total, $500 or so. I hear that you guys have been having to save a lot of money this year, which goes for Cammie as well. So I thought I'd treat her this time around. Is that a problem? Are you kidding me? You're telling me that you spent $500 on a present for Cammie? What the hell do you think you're doing spending that much? We are already having to send you money every month since you can't afford everything, so you don't dare waste it on our child. We are not giving up some of our earnings just for you to waste it on all toys. Huh? What are you talking about? I'm saying that this money you spent on the present for Cammie must have also come from the allowance we give you each month, right? I'm happy to hear that you'd spend that much on my daughter for her birthday, but think about how much you're spending when it's not even your money. What do you mean you're sending me money? What? I'm the one sending you guys money each month, right? What are you talking about? We are sending you over $1,000 each month to help you out, right?
Wait a second. I haven't received any kind of money from you guys. And I'm not lying when I say that I've been the one sending you guys money every month. I've already sent $1,000 in total for this month and last month. And come next month, I'll be sending you guys $1,500.
What the hell are you talking about? We haven't gotten a dime from you ever, Mom. We have been the ones sending you your allowance, right?
And I haven't received any money from either of you, okay? I've been the one sending the money each month. Huh? What is going on here?
We do not need any money from you, though. We are both working full-time jobs, so there really is no need for any money from outside the house.
But I heard from Jordan that he's not bringing in enough money for you and your daughter. And you yourself have been having to care for Cammy a lot more, so you can't work often, right? Actually, Jordan was telling me about how you used his credit card behind his back to buy a lot of clothing and makeup just the other month. That's why I assumed you guys would be struggling to pay that off. And that's why I bought that extra special present for Cammy.
I was the one spending large amounts on his card? Why would I ever need to do that? I'm a very frugal person, Mom. You know that. You're telling me that my husband has been coming to you saying his life here has been difficult and we aren't making enough money?
Yes, that's what Jordan has been telling me. That's why he had asked me to help you both out for a little while. He asked me to start sending him some money each month. You never knew about any of this? What the heck is all of this?
I never heard anything from him about us receiving any money from you. I was asked by him as well to give him some money, actually. He told me that you were having a tough time financially and that he wanted some money from me to send over to you every month.
Huh? He asked you to send money to him so he could send it to me?
Yes. I've been giving him money each month to send over to you. I know that as a fact. Even today I gave him some money to send to you.
You have to be lying, right? I've been sending money to his bank account as well this whole time.
In other words, he has been getting money from the both of us then, this whole time? If that's not the case, then something's up. Something is definitely up, since you and I have both been sending him money.
That's right. I bet that the money is being used up by him then.
If that's really the case, then he's going to get it from me. I've been working so hard to save up as much money as I can every month.
The fact that he's been hiding this from the both of us? What is he doing with all that money then? May, I'm so sorry that my son has caused this kind of trouble for you.
And I'm sorry as well for getting so upset with you before and not knowing a thing about this. Especially when you just sent my daughter an amazing present for her birthday. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it, May. Neither of us are to blame for this. The only one that's in the wrong here is my pain-in-the-butt son. What the heck has he done with all that money? Why is he even doing something like this to us? I want to find out everything.
Huh? Are you going out somewhere today? I still haven't gotten the money I need from you this month to send to my mom yet. And when you get back home, can you have the money ready for me? I want to be able to get that in her account by tonight, alright?
I'm not giving you any more money. We are done sending her money.
What? What are you saying, May?
There was no reason for me to be giving you that money in the first place. So we are no longer going to be sending her any more money every month.
We already talked about how much trouble my mom has been in with money and all that, right? And when we finished the conversation, we both agreed we would help her, right? Are you trying to tell me that you've stopped caring about my mom? I never thought you were that kind of woman who would do that to my mom.
You think I'm the bad person here? You did a great job lying to me about all that crap you told me before.
Huh? Lying about what? I don't get what you're talking about right now.
That whole spiel about how your mom is having a tough time right now was a lie, right? You've been getting money from both your mom and I, right? And not only that, but you made me look bad in front of your mom? Tell me, when was it that I was using your credit card behind your back to go shopping for clothes, you freaking butthead?
What is this? Did you talk to my mom or something? I told you plenty of times before not to talk to my mom, right?
I went and talked to her because she sent us a great present for Cammy's birthday. She did that thinking we didn't have enough money to buy her a bunch of gifts. I was pissed because I've been sending her money through you for months now, thinking she was in a tough situation financially. Or so I thought. Well, that's when I learned that she was also sending you money to help support us. At first, I had no clue what she meant by that. What the hell have you been up to, you bastard?
No, wait, I'm sorry. I really needed some money, and I needed it so badly that I lied a little, you know?
What about all of that was just a little lie to you? What the hell have you been using that money for?
Hobby? Buying myself some new fishing gear and getting myself a motorcycle repair. There was also a few times that I've gone to the casino, I guess.
You lied to all your family so that you could get money to go out and do all that crap? You'd better stop it with the BS right now, Jordan. Do you have any idea what you've been doing to your whole family? What you have been doing to us is the same thing as scamming us.
Don't get so upset about it. I'll apologize to you for what I've been doing. I'm sorry for lying to you guys about the money I asked for, but I'll just make sure to get all that money I used back to you both.
You'll get it back to us? You really think I'm going to listen to a proven liar's words now? You've messed up this time. I'm taking Cammy with me and leaving the house.
That's a lie, right? You're really that upset with me?
If I wasn't as upset as I am now over what's happened, I might have needed to go to an insane asylum. I'll have the divorce paperwork ready for you here soon.
Whoa, calm down, alright? Is this really something you should be divorcing me over?
I have learned this time that you seem to think lying is alright to do, especially when it's to get other people in the family's money. I am not going to continue to call someone like you my husband. The fact that you're alright with lying to all of us might even mean you're alright cheating on me as well. I'm sure you have other things you've hidden from me, right?
I would never cheat on you. You're just making this bigger than it has to be, okay?
Well, no matter what you're really up to behind my back, I've already lost all my faith in you. I'll be out of this house by tomorrow, and I want all that money back that you took from me really soon. And since this divorce was all your fault, I'm going to get a settlement from you.
I don't have that kind of money on me right now.
Well, then figure something out, please. Maybe take all the things you bought with my money and sell it to get that money back. How does that sound to you? If that ends up not being enough, then go find yourself a loan shark and get the rest from them.
Stop saying so much crap to me, please.
Then how about you stop paying for your health insurance? Then you'll have more money to pay me with, right? It's not like the rest of us care if you get into an accident now, so you won't need the insurance covering you. So go ahead and cancel that, please.
Are you serious about wanting to divorce me? I think we should talk this over in person first.
You're never going to have a chance at that again. I'm already set on leaving you, so shut it. If you want to talk about anything else with me, it better be about the money you'll owe me.
Mom, help me. May is asking that we get a divorce. Well, not asking, but she's saying she's gonna do it already. I want for the two of us to discuss this all in person, but she won't ever listen to me.
I know, and I think it's a good thing that she wants to get Cammy and herself away from you.
But divorce is going way too far, right? Had I been cheating on her, I could understand, but I feel like she's overreacting a bit too much right now.
You have zero clue about what you've been doing.
No clue about what?
You stabbed her in the back by what you did, regardless whether it was cheating on her or not. And from what I've heard, you haven't even been bothering to take good care of your daughter either, right? It's all because of you only caring about your hobbies that things like this have gotten way out of hand. I'm glad she's going to throw you away.
But if she goes through with that divorce, then you'll no longer be able to see Cammy, right? She plans to take full custody of her in the divorce, and she told me she's gonna get a settlement from me as well.
Perfect. It's not like you can care for a child anyway, right? You only ever cared about fishing and crap like that, and never bothered with May or Cammy, right? You're not a husband, nor a father at this point, Jordan. All you've been is a freeloader.
Are you really upset with me too now?
You know for dang sure that I'm pissed off right now. And I'll have you know that all the money I gave to you better be coming back to me really soon. You are too old now for me to have to be teaching you not to lie, you delinquent. Are you not embarrassed for doing something a middle schooler would do?
I really am sorry about all this, Mom. Now, I'm learning from all of it right now.
Are you really sure you're learning from what we're doing? This was the first time in decades I've cried over something.
Why?
Because my almost 45-year-old son lied to everyone in his family, all so that he could have more money to buy himself things for his hobbies. You're like a 5-year-old. Do you want me to call a daycare and have them start shuttling you to their place again? I'm embarrassed to think that you're my son, and you have nothing to show for being that way. I really would like to know when you decided to go back to lying to others to get things you want.
Mom, calm down, please. I never meant to cause you any trouble by doing all that.
Then why did you do all of that? What were you thinking at the time that made you say, I'm going to lie to my wife, my baby, and my mom in order to get money from all of them for my hobby?
It was just a sudden urge.
Screw you. You are far too old now to be urged to do something that childish and wrong. This must mean you never aged into an adult properly, and I should have had you placed into an institution, right?
I really do feel bad for making you get all this upset. I'm so sorry, okay? I'm sorry for being such a useless son.
No, you're not. And even if you were sorry, you would not be enough to have us look past what you've done. And that's why I'm going to be helping May divorce you. And when that's over, you will not be hearing from me for a very long time.
You mean you're gonna pretty much disown me? You really want to do that to your own child?
I don't give a crap that you're my only child. At this point, I would have been better off never having you. I've lost all trust I had in you, so you are worthless to me now. My faith in you is a fat 0 now.
Wait, Mom!
I'm not going to wait for you anymore. You are never coming back to this house ever again, you hear me? I'm going to try my very hardest to forget I ever had you as my child.
You're really just gonna throw me away at the hardest point in my life? I'm your son, Mom!
No, you're not. My son passed away a long time ago. All you are is a fraud who tries to freeload off others in his family.
Is everyone just gonna leave me to die now? I have no one to help me. I don't want to be alone at my age.
And this is all because you never cared about those around you. And that's why we're all leaving you and will never be coming back again. It may be too late to get us back, but I hope you'll learn from this and maybe turn into a half-decent human being. You may have gotten all the money you lied for to get, but in return you lost all your family. After that, in order to get some money from his company, he left them and received a package. He then used all that money to pay both May and I back for all the money he stole from us, as well as to pay for some of the settlement that May asked for from him. And he did all of that without saying a single word to either of us. He looked like a pile of crap when he came into court to hear about the custody of Cammy, but I was not going to give in to that. May was able to get full custody of Cammy, and since then he has never been allowed to see any of us. And since he has nobody around him anymore, he hasn't tried going back to work and is living life by borrowing money from many different establishments. Even when he does get himself a small job, it's only to get a small amount of money, and then he leaves that place to go back to staying under the radar. He's racked up a lot of debt and will soon have to start paying that back, which will require him to really live life without spending much at all. I think that he's never really going to be able to escape this new life he's given himself and will forever be in debt to someone. Recently, I have been getting a few calls from him where he'll cry asking me to take him back, but I just ignore them all. On the other hand, when it comes to May, she's been doing very well with Cammy. We are staying in touch with one another, and whenever she's too busy to watch over Cammy, she'll send her to my house for me to care for. I'm having lots of fun caring for Cammy, and I'm happy that May is still willing to rely on me for help. I will continue to help May whenever she may need it, all as a way of repaying her for the troubles my son has caused. Christian, make sure to come home from work today.
Huh? Why?
I have something I'd really like to talk to you about.
You wanna talk? I've got a drinking party tonight, so it's not gonna be possible.
Then, when you're back from that party, let's both talk a little.
No way! After the drinking party, I'm definitely gonna be sleepy. When I get home, I wanna go straight to bed.
But I have something really important to us to tell you about.
What could it possibly be? Do you really have something so important to tell me that you would stop me from sleeping? Just tell me right now if it's that important.
What? Right now?
Come on now, just tell me already.
I don't really feel like it's personal enough to tell you through text, but, well, I guess it'll have to do. Well, Christian, I've become pregnant.
What? Huh? You're pregnant?
Yeah. Recently I've been feeling a little bit off. And so I went out and bought myself a pregnancy test, just to be on the safe side. And when I took it, it showed that I was positive.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I even went to the woman's clinic right after to have the doctor make sure of it, and he said the same thing.
You're lying? If you start to bring a child into our life now, that means next year the cost of living for us is really gonna go up. Did you know that?
Huh? Well, yeah, but you're right. I think we'll start having to spend a bit more money on things. We'll need to start buying things in preparation for the baby as well, I'm assuming.
Could you just stop for a second?
What's up?
I wasn't really thinking we needed a child quite yet, though.
What do you mean? Are you not happy that I become pregnant with our first child?
I'm telling you that right now, the timing for a child is not good. With the kind of plan I have, I was hoping for another 3 years or so before we tried for a baby.
What plan is that you have? I never heard anything about it from you.
When you have your first child, you gotta be home more often, a lot more, and it restricts what you can do outside the house, right? As of right now, I really want to be out of the house working, and I have really wanted to spend at least a few more years making bank before bringing another life into our world. And yet you went ahead and made a thoughtless move by getting yourself pregnant. You are an idiot.
The fact that I'm pregnant right now doesn't have to do only with the choices I've made. Had you really not wanted for me to get pregnant right now, then why did you never wear a condom or anything like that? I'm not the only one you can be blaming for not thinking things through before acting. You are just as much to blame for this.
And I was under the impression that you've been on birth control and that there was no chance that you would get pregnant. If you could just look around and see that right now is not the time to be pregnant, you would understand how I feel, right?
Huh? Why are you saying things like that to make yourself look as though you did nothing wrong? I have no idea why you are that upset over this when you're just as much to blame as I am for this baby.
I'm mad at you because you don't have a brain in that head of yours, and you weren't thinking enough about our future together. This is the reason why I hate people that don't plan things out.
Well, if you wanted me to know the plan, then you should have told me about it sooner than today. Then I would have tried a whole lot harder to not get myself pregnant. Telling me all this now in that tone is just making me distressed.
Yeah, I get it now. But I'm just as distressed as you are.
Well, for the time being, there is no changing the fact that I'm pregnant. And that also means that this kid I'm carrying is not to blame whatsoever.
That's true. The only one to blame is the idiot on the other end of this phone.
You are not going to start hating me because of this baby, right? You're still going to love this baby, whether you're happy with me or not, right? You're not going to say things to them like you'd be happier if they weren't born, right?
That and this are two completely different topics.
Thank goodness. I'm sure that this has put a huge hole in that plan of yours, Christian. But we can still do our best to raise this baby.
But I don't think I'm ever gonna forget how you ruined this whole plan I had for us. I don't think I'll ever be able to trust someone like you ever again.
I see. I understand. But if you have anything you'd like to say to me regarding this, then you better tell me right away. If you don't let me know of other plans you have, or how you're feeling, then things like this could happen again to us.
Alright, when I get back from work, I'm gonna tell you everything about what I want from my life. And you had better not fall asleep before I get home. I'm already pissed off with you enough as it is, and you doing that would only further my hatred for you. Something came in the mail for you today, Mariana. What the heck is this?
Those are sheets for the baby that arrived. I know it's a little early, but some of my family sent them to me. They don't need them anymore, so they wanted for us to have them. It would be too expensive to have to buy everything, right?
Is that what this is? Are you not gonna be getting anything else for the baby?
I actually wanted to get a stroller for the baby from my family as well. One of my family members still has one, but the tires on it are all broken, so they had to toss it. So I just decided that we'll have to go out and buy one instead.
Having to buy a lot of things for the baby is gonna drive me a bit nuts. According to my plan this year, I would have been able to save another $5,000 or so for my future. But if we have to keep on spending this kind of money on the baby, then I'll never be able to spend that much. It's all because of you that my life's plan has completely gone to waste.
And I've apologized to you for that plenty of times now. I'm trying my best to keep working right up to having this baby, in order to have as much money as possible for when they come.
And since this is all you're doing, I want you to promise me that you'll work right up to the very last day you can stand on both your legs before having that baby. Had you followed that plan I had before, you would never have had to work while being pregnant and could have stayed at home all day while I worked.
I still think it's a bit odd of you to blame me still for all that's happened. I don't even remember you ever having these kinds of plans before when we just got married. At least, I never heard anything about them from you.
I changed after marrying you, all thanks to Mr. Connors.
Isn't Mr. Connors your current CEO?
Have you not ever seen Mr. Connors' social media or anything like that before? He has thousands upon thousands of followers on all his accounts.
Really? That's amazing of him. Is he like some kind of influencer then?
Mr. Connors is a really influential business owner. It's insane for someone in their 40s to already have their company looking as amazing as his. He's got a lot of seminars all the time where he explains his logic, and even has books talking about how to get where he is at. In other words, he's my favorite man to read about.
Is that so?
And from what Mr. Connors has talked about, his most important thing is to make sure you have a plan set for the rest of your life. He said that planning things out financially for the future isn't something that only businesses do to make sure they're successful, but something that people have to do for themselves as well.
And so that's why you decided to start planning things out more around your life, right? You've been influenced by a successful CEO.
I want to make sure that things for me in the future are perfect, and that means taking the least troublesome paths. Our lives are short, so it all has to be done in the most effective manner in order for us to get the most from it. And I feel like if I do the same exact thing that Mr. Connors does for his own life, then I might be able to close my success over to him someday. I want to become like him when I become 40 years old, you know?
You've been trying to plan out your life just like Mr. Connors has been? Are you sure that's okay for you?
What do you mean by that?
Well, have you been doing the same things as him? Like timing out when to have kids? Like, are you trying to be the exact same person as he is? And when did he have his kids?
He said that he had his own kids 2 years ago. It seems to him like the most important thing to do in your 30s is work, work, work. And once you're in your 40s, you can relax a little and then have some kids. He wanted to be able to make sure he was financially sound in his 30s, and so that in his 40s he would never have to expose his kids to any form of poverty. He's an amazing man, right? Knows all the right things to do.
Then that must mean his wife is in her 40s now as well, right? It must have really been hard on her health having kids at that age, right?
Nah, his wife's only in her 20s right now. They've got an age gap of around 13 years, I believe.
Wait, does all of that not seem a little bit strange to you?
What's so strange about it? I don't see a single thing wrong with what he's done.
You wanted to have kids when you started to enter your 40s?
That's right.
Well, when you enter your 40s, then I'd also be entering my 40s, right? Having to be that age and have kids would be a terrible thing for my health and could lead to all sorts of complications for me. The only reason Mr. Connors has been able to have kids in his 40s is because his wife is almost half his age now.
I mean, when you're in your 40s or your 50s, you can still make kids as a woman, right? And it's not like our healthcare is really bad in the US where they just let you die because you were unwell during the process. There have been plenty of people in the world who have babies when they're past the age of 40.
And I'm sure there are some people. But as a woman gets older and older, the risk of suffering some kind of adverse effect from the pregnancy grows. You and Mr. Connors both live in completely different worlds from one another right now, so I don't think his plan is going to work for you. I really think you need to rethink things when it comes to wanting to follow his life plans exactly.
Stop trying to talk to me like you understand anything. What I'm trying to tell you is that you better try harder to not get sick when you turn 40.
Do not say things like that to me.
You already ruined all my plans, and now you're gonna start talking to me like I have no clue what I'm doing?
Well, your plan for your life is just a copy of what someone else is doing, right? Really, you should be the one putting some thought into it and making an original plan for yourself.
Oh, I've been putting loads of thought into my plan, Mariana. I've been thinking about it for so much further longer than you have, so shut it. I've been putting a lot of time into making sure that things end up for me the way they did with him, and that has taken a lot of thinking on my end. So quit it with all these complaints when you have done squat to help me with my plans. You are just an amateur when it comes to this world, so shut your mouth.
But you seem to be trying really hard to make sure everything goes according to that plan, right? Are you sure you're not putting too much of your thought and time into that plan, when you could be putting it all towards something more attuned to yourself? If you continue with the same plan Mr. Connors has, then you're saying you're totally fine with me being at risk come my 40s. You don't care what happens to the babies and I?
You're just an idiot who has no idea what you're talking about. As long as I stick to this plan, everything will go perfectly for me.
You can't be sure of that though, right?
Oh, you're really getting on my nerves. All you seem to be for me is a roadblock.
A roadblock?
I just want you to shut up and do as I say, alright? But you went ahead and got pregnant with that brat now, and he's gonna put a huge dent in what's supposed to be perfect. So if you do anything else to piss me off any more than I already am, I'm gonna throw that baby away.
You do not say that to your pregnant wife. Acting like the baby and I are just items to you? Are you not happy that you and I were able to make a baby together?
I don't think so. It was not part of the plan I had for my life anyway, so there's no way I'm gonna be responsible for caring for it. All it is a waste of my money and time.
You're awful. Saying all that because things didn't go exactly as Mr. Connors had planned? You cannot speak of your child like that when this is not their fault.
This month, I'm having to pay another 50% more on this credit card than I had to last month. Is it really costing you this much money just to get ready for a kid? This is exactly the reason why I didn't want us having kids yet.
Is that something a father says about their baby?
Well, this is all your fault. Don't get yourself pregnant without asking me first. My whole life's plan is gonna be completely ruined because of you and that kid.
This is your life's plan? You stop all that right now. All you've been doing is copying everything I've done to try to be half as good as me. You're fired from my company, and I want you to go back to square one.
Hold on, who is this? It's not my wife that I'm talking to?
My name is Franklin Connors. You should be able to know your own CEO's name, correct?
Is that really you? There's no way in hell you're my CEO. Why would my CEO be using my wife's phone anyway to talk to me?
It's because I'm with your wife right now. Your manager is Robert, right? I'll let him know that you're to be fired the second you're back at the office.
What? Are you really saying that my CEO is on the other end of this phone?
I already told you I am. So please stop trying to get me to repeat the exact same things to you. It's inefficient.
I'm so very sorry for questioning you, sir. But please, why are you with my wife at this very moment?
I'll have your wife explain that one to you later on. I do not want to waste all my day talking to a pathetic waste like you, so I'll get right to the point. I don't need you working at this company, someone that sees his wife and soon-to-be birthed baby as only items. I'm gonna have you off my payroll very soon.
Please, hold on just a moment. I am a huge fan of you and your life, sir. I really just wanted to end up like you as a person, and I've seen hundreds of your seminars already. There's not another man in this company that loves you and your life as much as I do.
And those that are important to my company are not people that love me and just want to be like me. I need people in my company that are good people who know how to think for themselves. If you really have been coming to all my seminars, then you should be aware that I really care about my family a lot, right?
Yes, I do.
But you've been ruthlessly forward to your wife and saying horrible things to her, and it's broken her heart. You're even talking about how you don't want the baby she's carrying for you. I don't want to hear it from you when you say things like that to your own family. Do you have a heart buried in that chest of yours?
I just happened to say things like that in the moment. Look, I really wasn't trying to say all those mean things to her.
Someone as selfish as you will never be able to be successful in this world, and you'll not be able to move up in any of our companies, that's for sure. I'm not even gonna let you say that you're part of my company anymore.
Please, don't say things like that. I really did want to become like you all my life, Mr. Connors, and I've done everything to follow in your footsteps.
So even after all I've said to you, you're still saying that you haven't heard any of it? Well, I guess that would be the case since you don't even follow what I've said in all my seminars, that all you are is fake, trying to be someone that you're not, which might look okay from the outside, but within yourself there is nothing. If you really want to become like me, a proper man, then you gotta cut the copying crap and start making life decisions yourself.
I'll try even harder, okay? So please, just don't fire me from your company.
I'm sorry, but I can no longer have any exceptions for you in the company. Goodbye, Christian. I hope you find yourself another job for yourself somewhere else.
Sir, please, listen to me.
Mr. Connors has told me he has to get back to work now.
What the hell is going on here? What do you think you're doing?
I had been talking with Mr. Connors about you and what you've been doing. I told him that you're like some kind of creepy follower to him. And then I explained to him that you were using him as an excuse for allowing yourself to make horrible comments towards me and the baby. Then I finished by asking him to please help me, and it seems like he went ahead and read all those messages I sent to him about us. He told me that he felt really sorry for me, and that he wanted to sit down together and talk things over about what's been going on with you.
It's all your fault that he's threatening to fire me from my job now. Why are you doing this to me? Now even Connors is gonna start hating me, his biggest fan. I'm gonna be destroyed.
It's not just that he hates you, Christian, but I think he no longer sees you as even being human. I think things from now on are going to be a lot more difficult for you.
How much longer are you gonna be staying at your parents' place? I want you to come back home right now.
I'm not going back there. I'm going to stay with my parents and have my baby here. I'm having our divorce papers sent to you, so make sure you sign all your parts, please. I'll be getting a settlement from you.
Why do you want a settlement from me now? You think I'll pay that?
The reason for me wanting to leave you is because you verbally assaulted me. Even Mr. Connor said it was a good idea to get a settlement from you after what you've done to me.
He said that to you?
And as a show of his apologies to me, he introduced me to a very good lawyer to help me win this divorce case. If so, I need his strength. Mr. Connors is a wonderful man, and I wish I could have married someone like him. He has helped me out so much, all in just one sitting.
Why is Mr. Connors being an ally to someone like you? I've been the one who was always hoping to become someone like him, and I've been his biggest fan. I'm the one who knows a whole lot more about him in his life, and I should be the one that he wants to help.
And so what, Christian? You call yourself his biggest fan, but you have not listened to a word he said to you at those seminars. He even told you that himself, didn't he? He said you cannot be copying his life's plans and should be thinking of a plan that'll help yourself and your family. Just like I had told you a while back.
What the hell did you tell him about me to make him hate me so much? What could you have said to make him think that he could become that angry with his biggest fan? I tried to apologize to him just the other day at the office, but he still stood up and began to tear me a new one.
I only told him the things you had been doing and saying to me. You just happened to be a total prick to me all the time, and that was not going to fly in Mr. Connor's eyes. I even told him about what you were saying about our baby. But when you said that to me while he was looking at the phone himself, he lost all words to say. He just then muttered that you are a completely hopeless little boy, and then took my phone from me to start texting with you.
Please, can't you get him to stop hating me? Tell him that you and I had just been in a fight and that you made me say all the things that like that to you. If you don't help me fix this, I really will be fired.
I'm not going to change how you look to him.
I had made all these plans for myself to have our family be happy forever. I'll apologize for being a little bit too strict about it. I'm sorry, okay?
Well, Christian, I also started to make a plan for myself. And a part of that plan is not having you in my life anymore. And even Mr. Connors thinks that's a good idea, since he's getting rid of you from his company as well. So, for the sake of both the company's plan and my own plan, get the hell away from us.
I don't want to. Stop trying to act like I'm the one that caused all this to happen. I'm telling you that from now on, I'll do better at work, as a father and as a husband.
There's no way that's true.
Just like he told me, I'm gonna start thinking for myself a bit more. So please, just put me back into your life's plan so we can be together forever. I won't make you regret it this time.
Nope, it's all over for you now. I have to make sure I go with a plan that doesn't involve you ruining not only my own life, but the life of my baby as well. And that's why, as a part of my plan, you are to never be in my life again. Take that empty head of yours and go somewhere else where people plan on having you around. After that, Christian tried again and again to apologize to his CEO about what had happened, but no matter how hard he tried, Mr. Connors was not changing his mind. And in the end, Christian ended up losing his job for good. It seems that after that day, his pride took a nosedive, and he no longer had it in him anymore to accept what had happened. He started to go around saying that he chose to leave that company, but since nobody would listen to him, he started to realize he was ruined for good, and then moved back to his parents' house where he's locked himself inside. After that, he stayed in his room all the time and used whatever money he did have to start messing around with stocks. His last-ditch effort was to try and make it big through the stock market. But after putting a lot of money into all the wrong places, he lost whatever saving he'd had left. With no money to his name anymore, he began to totally rely on his parents to care for him for a little while. But after that little while had passed, his parents grew very tired of having to baby him and kicked him out of their house. He left their house without even one complaint, and now nobody really knows about what's happened to him. As for myself, I happened to give a healthy birth, and my baby turned out to be a boy. I also had myself read one of those books by Mr. Connors about his life, and started to think of some things for myself based off his life. I can see by just how amazing this book was that one would really start to like someone like Mr. Connors a lot. But I'm only going to respect his life, and will never copy his life's plan one for one like Christian did. Everyone has to know that you will not have the exact same life as someone else has, and that you should never do the exact same things they do. But of course, people like Christian are not aware of that, or at least weren't, and thought they could get away with trying to copy another person completely. Well, I'm going to make sure I'm never like Christian, and will only use other people's lives as a way of thinking up new ideas for my own life, and then acting on those.
Hey there, Ken. Are you there? I was just curious if now is a good time to talk. I just wanted to make sure whether or not you were already on your way to the preschool right now. Because I asked you to go and pick up Pearl from there, remember?
Wait a second. You wanted me to do that again? Yeah, I really don't think that's gonna work for me. I mean, I'm still busy with work, so I just won't be able to go to the preschool at all.
Oh, right. Well, I was just wondering if you might have asked for time off to go and get her.
Well, why is she needing to be picked up right now? Don't tell me that she broke out in another fever.
That's what the school is saying, yeah. The teachers there took her temp, and they told me it was sitting just above 100.
Oh, wow. Well, that is just a big high, especially for a little girl. But maybe it's one of those colds that just incubates and gets worse in children before it can spread to adults.
Yeah, I think I remember reading somewhere that that's what would happen with smallpox was still a thing.
Well, diseases really are just a completely different life form with different rules from us. But anyways, I really can't afford to get sick right now. Things are really busy in the office, and my boss has talked about how we need all hands on deck right now.
Right. Well, I guess if that's the case, then I'll go and pick Pearl up. And I suppose I'll also have to take her to the doctor as well, won't I? I'll let you know what I hear from them after they've examined her later today, okay?
Sure thing. This really is pretty worrying. I mean, it seems like she's getting a cold every day at this point. Do you ever wonder if Pearl's just really weak? Like as a person?
I don't know. The teachers seem to think that this is a pretty normal for children who are her age, but on the smaller side. And besides, you know that there's always something going around preschools with how dirty children can be. So I guess we really shouldn't be too surprised at all this, but still, we should think of ways to protect Pearl. Either way, the point is that right now she is getting too sick too often and something has to be done.
I know. Especially if her getting sick all the time is going to eat into her parents' schedules as much. I didn't think we'd already be going to a doctor so often.
Well, I suppose that we really just don't have much of a choice in the matter. After all, she's our daughter. We have to do this. Besides, it hasn't eaten into your schedule at all. I'm always the one having to take off work early to go and pick Pearl up, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I know. But of course you would. Your office is much closer to her school than mine is, after all. Besides, you said that your boss is much more supportive of working parents and having to leave for stuff like this. It's not like I don't want to go and pick Pearl up. It's just that it works out better if you do it, right?
Okay, well, yes, my boss may be understanding of the circumstances, but I also have work that I need to do and deadlines that I need to meet. So I really, really would appreciate it if you could go and pick Pearl up from time to time.
And I'm telling you that my office would not let something like that fly at all. I don't care how sick she was. I just wouldn't be able to get the time off. My boss isn't like yours. He's not about to let me go and put my daughter before the company. Especially because he knows I'm married. He would just tell me to make you do it anyways.
Wow. Well, it sounds to me like your boss is stuck in the past and really needs a wake-up call.
Well, it's not like he's wrong. I do have a wife much closer to my daughter and in a better position to take off work to go get her.
That's fine, but it's not like I can just take off work whenever I feel like it. I'm still using my time off and I'm still inconveniencing my coworkers by always being away from the office.
Well, have you thought about taking off the maternity leave that you never used?
I've talked to my boss about it before, and she says that it would mean she would have to move some personnel around, but that it would be possible.
I see. And if you did that, then what would happen to your salary?
I would take about 6 months of time off and only get paid half of what my salary is.
So you would only get paid half of what you're making now, huh? It really would be a pain if we had to tighten our budget anymore.
But I really don't think that I'll take the time off. I mean, it's not so bad taking off early to pick Pearl up. I just won't ask you to do this anymore, and I'll handle it all myself.
Well, hold on a second. Let's think about this. If you did take that much time off of work, then you could always make sure the house was clean.
Well, I think I do a pretty good job of that while working right now, so...
I know, but I'm saying as it is right now, I have to help you take care of the house, right? I'm always helping you cook and clean and that sort of stuff. But if you took off work and basically just became a housewife for 6 months, then I wouldn't have to do any of that, right? I would just go to work and come home to a clean house and dinner.
It is true that we both work to keep the house clean and running. That is true. I'm sorry if you have some kind of problem with my cooking, though. When it's my turn to cook, I usually just go for something simple since I'm tired from work.
That's my whole point. You could take this time to really improve your cooking and laundry skills and stuff like that. Besides, to be honest, I really do think you need to step it up in the kitchen.
So then, you're telling me that you do want me to take time off work after all?
After this discussion, it really sounds to me like we really can't afford not to do that at this point. But don't worry, I'll be sure to take care of you. Hey there, Clara. Just wanted to let you know that I got off work now. Ugh, I'm so sick of having to work all the overtime. It really is killing me. Do you know that?
Well, I'm glad that you finally were able to finish for the day. It seems that they really have been keeping you busy as of late.
Well, that's easy for you to say when you don't have anything going on at all. A housewife's life must be so easy. All you do is eat and sleep.
What in the world are you talking about, Ken? I don't take naps while you're away at work, you know.
Okay, fine. But at least you're not having to work as hard as I am at my job. You're at home, surrounded by all our stuff, just able to do whatever you want. Man, I really wish that I could just walk away from work and hang out at home doing nothing all day. You have no idea how jealous I am of you.
Well, it just goes to show how little you know of what I actually do around the house every day. I mean, do you have any idea how hard it is to keep everything clean, do all the laundry, and still keep up with Pearl? I barely have time to catch my breath.
Okay, but come on, Clara. You're not about to really say that being a housewife is more challenging than working full-time, right? I mean, you're unemployed. You've got no real responsibilities. You're living the easy life and you're complaining about it?
If you don't think that I have any responsibilities at home, then you really don't know what you're talking about at all. Even I didn't think that it would be this difficult, but you basically have to work around everyone's schedules, and it's like I'm on the clock all the time. Honestly, by the time you get home, I am just exhausted. It really would be nice if you did just a little more around the house.
And you don't think that I'm not just as tired, if not more, from working all day? You're at the house, so you take care of the house. That's the deal. I mean, isn't that why you took all the time off work to begin with?
Yeah, that was the plan, but the least you could do is help me out on the weekends. You don't do anything around the house, and you hardly spend any time with Pearl either. You know, sometimes I wonder if she even sees you as her dad at this point.
Hold on a second. Are you really asking me to sacrifice my precious time off so that I could do your job for you? I'm going out to the office every day earning money so that we can have a roof over our head and food on our table. But I guess that just still isn't enough for you, is it?
I'm just saying that if you want me to do all the work around the house, even after you get home from work, then the least you could do is spend more time with our daughter. You're her father, for crying out loud. You can't just ignore her, you know. I mean, even when I was working, you would still help me out with Pearl when I felt bad or was stuck in bed from period cramps. What happened to that father of the daughter that I used to know?
That was then and this is now. Don't compare the two, okay? I am not as free as I used to be, and I have more work now. You don't know my schedule, so don't talk to me like you do, okay? You're just trying to get me to earn all the money and do all the work around the house, aren't you?
Excuse me, Ken, but what happened to you to bring about all this change? I mean, you never used to be this bad about helping me out when I asked for it. You used to love spending time with Pearl. Now you just act like you're so great just for being a working husband and father to a child.
Well, I am great. That's why I know what's best for the family. You do nothing but eat away at my paycheck anyways.
Well, you do know that this rest from work was only ever going to be temporary, you know? I only took time off so that I could keep an eye on our daughter and make sure that she was doing okay. So are you still going to talk to me like this when I'm working again?
I'm just saying that obviously the most important job you can do for a family is to earn money. If we didn't have money, then you and Pearl wouldn't have a place to live. So, from that logic, it's quite easy to see how it's obvious that I'm the most important person in the family. And I don't need to take any back talk from some unemployed housewife like you.
Unemployed housewife? Is that what you just called me? Do you really think that you can boss us around just because you're working?
Of course I do. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Are you only just starting to get it now? It's high time I claimed my stake as the center of this family. And it's important that our daughter recognizes that this is how a man who takes care of his family acts. Now quit acting so selfishly or else I'll have to punish you for it.
You are just ridiculous. You're the one acting like a complete child right now. And just how do you think you're going to punish me? You really think that anyone believes this is all for Pearl? It's clearly all just for your ego.
Well, I've decided that from here on out, I am done spoiling you and Pearl. I'm going to become a much more strict husband and father and run this house like a boot camp.
And you really think that that's what's going to be best for Pearl? You think people are going to want to come over and play with her if her father is like that?
I don't care if no one comes over to play. We don't need others coming to our family affairs anyways. Besides, everyone knows that playtime is for the weak. Every successful person now never had any playtime when they were little.
Just where in the world did you read such a ridiculous thing? Do you really believe that? Is that how you see the world?
Look, the point is that I'm the most important in this house, and that I make the rules for you and Pearl to follow. Okay? As long as you remember that, we'll be okay.
Ken, what's up with our room? Why is it such a mess? What did you do in here?
Ugh! Are you kidding me? I had just finally gotten to sleep and now your messages are keeping me up. And just where were you anyways, huh?
I told you yesterday that I was going to go to my parents' house. Don't you remember me saying that to you?
Well, you spent way too much time over there. Why didn't you come home in time to make us dinner, huh? What's the matter with you?
Well, then I had to go out again and take Pearl to the doctor because she broke out with another fever. And just what is wrong with me going out of the house anyways, huh? I mean, it was only a few hours in total. Besides, you still haven't told me why the house is such a mess. I was barely gone and it's a disaster.
Well, whatever. I'm going to the casino. Don't bother me again until the house is spotless. Got it?
What are you talking about? I just want to know why our house is such a mess. I mean, there's cans all over the floor. Did you drink while I was out or something like that?
And so what if I did have a couple of drinks, huh? You got a problem with that?
I do if you drank a bunch and are now going to the casino, yes. I mean, I don't care if you do go now and then, but you've been going almost every day and you've lost big more than once. Don't you see that you're wasting all our money? You know that we don't have incomes anymore, right? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that if I'm the only one making money around here, then that means it's all mine, and I should be able to spend it however I want.
I really can't believe that you're acting this way. You're just horrible. Do you know that? I mean, I really just don't even know how to deal with you while you're being like this. But if you made this mess in our house, then I am not going to clean it up for you. I am not a maid. I am your wife. And besides, I have more important things to do, like being here for our daughter in the hospital.
You really have some nerve talking to me like that. You don't even work and you think you can boss me around like you bring any money in?
Why is that always your first line of attack? Why is it always about the money with you? I mean, you keep saying that you're working for the good of the family, but can't you see that what I'm doing is for the good of the family too? Why does it have to be all about rank and position and who's the most important person in the house, huh?
You really just don't get it at all, do you? Of course it's all about the money. It's always been about the money. And how you both are always spending my money like you think it's yours.
Your money? You really need a wake-up call if you think that we're spending your money, Ken. I mean, I didn't want to have to say this way, but the fact is that you just don't make enough to take care of all of us.
Excuse me? What did you just say to me? Did you really just send that message? You've got some nerve. Do you know that?
Well, I'm only trying to clarify some misconceptions that you seem to be under right now. Because the fact is that I have not been living off the money that you've been making through your job.
What does that even mean? Just where have you been getting your money from then? Huh?
Did you really think that you were our only hope to survive, Ken? Did you really think that you were supporting a family of 3 with your tiny salary? Thankfully for me, before we started dating, I had already saved up a lot of money that I put away in a savings account. And that is the money that I've been living off of. I've really only been using the money that you bring in to make payments on the car and pay for Pearl's preschool.
You're a liar. You're lying and I know it. You really think that I'm just gonna fall for that nonsense?
I'm afraid that I'm not lying at all. You've been putting all the work at home on me, including the budget. That means that I know exactly how much everything costs and where the money comes from. But now that I think about it, you've never had any time to live on your own and figure this out, huh?
Well, that's because I was living with my parents before we got married. There's nothing wrong with how much money I make. I earn the average of what someone doing my job does.
That may be true, but you have to factor in your age as well. And the fact of the matter is that you're way behind other people your age. Of course that makes sense, considering you. You hardly seem to have any ambition and seem like you don't mind at all doing the same job forever. But meanwhile, everyone else who you got hired with has been promoted or moved on to a better job. You're the only one still working basically the same position that you started at in your company.
Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about. Not everything is about promotions and positions and money, you know. I just have my own way of doing things.
You say that, but how is that way of doing things going for you when all your colleagues have already surpassed you? I bet many of them are married and have children too, so you can't use us as an excuse.
Oh, just shut up already. You don't know what you're talking about. I like my job and I like what I do. But if I wanted, I could get promoted like it was nothing. And all that would mean is that I get a little bit more money for a lot more work, and I don't want that.
Well, I suppose everyone does have their own style of doing things, but I just hope that you realize that you shouldn't be bragging so much about how much you make. After all, you do know that when I was working, even I was making more money than you, right? I knew that I was going to have to dip into my savings for us to make ends meet the moment we decided that I would stop working for a bit. But you just thought that you could lord working over me like I was doing nothing for the family.
Well, you should have talked to me about all of this earlier. Why have you been so quiet about all this until just now? If I wasn't making enough money for you, then I'll just work harder and earn more.
You shouldn't have to wait for me to tell you to do that before you do. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to hurt your pride and because I saw how hard you were working. But the moment I stopped working, you let all of it go to your head, and it's been downhill since then.
But, I really had no idea at all. Please, I really thought that I was just being logical and suggesting it.
Well, I hope that you can see that I was the one keeping this family afloat with the money that I was earning. I suppose I'll be happy as long as you can say that you've learned your place. Either way, I'm not going to keep wasting my savings supporting the three of us anymore. Instead, I am going to take Clara, and we are going to leave you.
Wait, what? You can't just take my child and leave. That's illegal or something, isn't it?
If you really think so, then why not go ask any judge? Either way, we're still getting divorced, but have a nice life. After that, I followed through on my word, hired a lawyer, and began the divorce process with Ken. I had held on to hope that Ken would settle down, that he would finally put his ego in check, but he just kept pushing me until I couldn't take it. Of course, once he knew the truth about where most of our money was coming from, he begged me not to leave him. In one last desperate move, he begged his boss for a raise, but his boss told him that he really hadn't done much to deserve anything. That's when Ken started trying to take credit for the work that his colleagues had done. When his boss realized what he was doing, however, he fired him on the spot. With nowhere else to go and a divorce underway, Ken had to quickly find another job and moved into a tiny apartment. As one final act of mercy to the man that I once loved, I didn't even ask Ken to pay child support for Pearl. I told him that I would have more than enough money to take care of the two of us and that he needed the money more than we did. After the divorce, I took Pearl and we moved to a new city to be closer to my parents, who helped take care of Pearl for me while I'm at work at my new job. I asked my company for a transfer to an office closer to where we moved to and was able to start right away. I'm going to take some time adjusting to being a single mother, but I'm glad that I have a supportive family and network of friends willing to be there for me and help me through it. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.